I left today's Colts game because POTUS and I will not dignify any event that disrespects our soldiers, our flag, or our national anthem. At a time when so many Americans are inspiring our nation with their courage, resolve, and resilience, now more than ever, we should rally around our flag and everything that unites us. Let's bring in today's media panel. Joe Concha is a media reporter for The Hill. Judy Miller is a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter and author, also a Fox News contributor. Thanks, both of you, for being here. Judy, to you first. You're a little suspicious, I guess, of the vice president's motives here.
Yes, I am. And I am because the press pool, those who accompanied the vice president out to Indianapolis for this game, was never even taken into the stadium. So they knew, the press knew, everyone knew that the vice president's appearance was going to be very brief there. Didn't even have time to buy a hot dog. Just wanted to make a political point at the taxpayers' expense, because this trip, according to all the reporting of what these flights cost, was $250,000 round-trip airfare on the Air Force Two. That doesn't even count all of the people on the ground, the ambulance, the extra security, everything that goes with something like this, just to make a point. And then the president himself undermined his vice president's stance as a man of principle by saying, I ordered him to do it. So is a Vice President Pence a man of principle, or is he President Trump's terrier, his faithful gopher? I mean, that's what this looks like. I think this is going to not help either the president or the vice president. All
right, Joe, but, you know, vice presidents and presidents make a lot of trips for symbolic purposes. And if the vice president was simply trying to show that, you know, rallying around the flag is important, what's wrong with that?
Well, first of all, I own a terrier, Judy. Okay, so I don't appreciate the analogy. West Highland.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll pick another breed.
Okay. Yeah, this cost about $250,000, as you said, just to start. Here's the thing, though. During the previous president's tenure of 8 years, he did hundreds of fundraisers all across the country at taxpayers' expense, and we didn't really talk about that all that much. So if Pence did this for political purposes, okay, that's been done before, so we really shouldn't be upset about that. And by the way, I like how, you know, when NFL players kneel, that's them exercising their First Amendment rights. But when the vice president protests the protests and walks out, it's called, and this is what 49ers safety Eric Reed said, systemic oppression. Oh, I didn't realize it worked that way, John.
Yeah. Judy, I mean, the team, the 49ers, could have ended the whole thing by simply not taking a knee. I mean, haven't they made their point by now?
Well, they have made their point, and they're also adjusting the way in which they choose to demonstrate their cause, which is, you know, to protest racial inequality in this country. They're changing their tactics because they understand some Americans are offended by it. But look, this is the administration, and Joe, you know this, that promised to drain the swamp. But what is the swamp other than taking flights like this at the taxpayers' expense? It does have this useful function for them, and that is it distracts the American people from all of the things President Trump promised he was going to do and hasn't done for the American people. It is a very useful distraction, but other than that, I don't think it serves the public's interest.
Well, you know, it was supposed to. He's obviously the former governor of Indiana. It was a Colts game, Joe. Peyton Manning's Colts jersey was going to be retired. There's a legitimate reason for him to go to that game. And, you know, according to his tweets and the president's as well, there was a legitimate reason for him to walk out if he didn't like the kneeling.
Yeah, this wasn't just any Colts 49ers game. This was Peyton Manning being honored, not just with his jersey being retired, but also a statue outside there as well. And Peyton Manning perhaps is the most popular figure ever to emerge from Indiana, at least in modern times.
Larry Bird might argue with that, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let's say most popular football player of all time. Yeah, I'm going to play that one safe. Good point on Bird. But look, here's the thing. These protests are hurting this league like we've never seen before. Winston Group comes out with a poll today, and it turns out that only 42% of men between the ages of 35 and 54 now see the NFL favorably. You say 42%, that's not bad. You know where that number was in August? 73%. It's dropped 31% in a matter of months, and the only thing you could look at is these protests are hurting the image of the league because it looks like they're disrespecting the flag, veterans. Even if that isn't the purpose, that's how people mostly are seeing it.
These players ought to look up the Major League Baseball strike and see, what kind of effect that had on the league back in the day. All right. Good discussion. Joe Concha, Judy Miller, thank you both.